Scholars, welcome to the counselor's office. I'm Mr. Gaming Counselor. We are releasing this video on Tuesday. We will be live streaming the Edge of Fate dev live stream part deuce. So check me out. Either I'm live now or I'm going to be live soon. So check it out. Link it down below is to the Discord. That Discord will notify you if I am or have gone online. Sorry, I just ate and I'm trying to breathe and talk at the same time, and it's hard. You know what else is also hard? Streamers. I don't know. It's just a segue. We're talking about streamers today and how whether or not they ruin Destiny or they have ruined Destiny 2. Have streamers ruined it? That's the topic today. By Astacross. I saw this a couple days ago. It's like 5 days ago. I kind of waited on it specifically because I just wanted to cover some other things. And I was also, I think at that time, working on my brutally honest review for Rights of the Nine. So that was kind of on the back burner. But now I think we can come back and kind of cook on it, especially since we're about to go into another reveal where we're probably going to get another dose of everyone gassing up this expansion. And 90% of it is going to be about the free stuff that isn't actually the DLC. And I'm waiting for the actual developers to do it as well. I also have my bingo card. So get your bingo card for tomorrow ready, kids. Yeah, I'm ready for us to be gassed up by the most minimal viable product. My hype is down here. So if they manage to peak it, then you're going to know, because that right now it's all the way down here. So if we get up here, like, okay, they done something. But right now they have to do some final shape level, like, excitement. And right now we don't even have like Shadow Keep excitement, and that's saying something. So let's jump into it and see what Astrocross thinks, or where his community, I'm guessing he's polling his community, thinks about streamers and them ruining Destiny 2.
Bro, people complain about everything. Dude, I'm not gonna lie, man. This morning I got told on a video where we were essentially critiquing Bungie very hard on yesterday's video, and essentially my thoughts on Bungie going forward. And
we reacted to that.
The amount of comments that range from it's content creators for hating on Bungie too much to you didn't hate enough. The back and forth on this, guys. I can't.
Wait, whoa. You creators hate on Bungie way too much. What? Oh, okay. It's copy pasted together. Yeah, leave the multi-million-dollar company. Yeah, I love this meme because I expect like a 500-pound man complaining that you're criticizing a multi-million. Like, I imagine it is a naked mole rat, doesn't have a beard, like looks like they belong in a zoo, but they're in the basement. And that, or they're at McDonald's putting the fries in the bag. It's one of the two. It is insane to see people just at any moment defend it's not even multi-million, it's billion-dollar company. It is baffling to me. I will never understand it. Again, my motto is, if you're a gamer and you're not pro gamer, you're pro stupid.
For hating on Bungie too much to you didn't hate enough. The back and forth on this, guys. I can't keep up with y'all.
Hold on. What are the
much to you didn't hate?
Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Thank you. My issue, Astacross, is we get it. You're sponsored, but I believe you are not hard enough on Bungie. Sometimes it come across as a sort of lightning the blow. I actually agree with this. After watching a couple of stuff, it does seem some of the stuff seems scripted, or he is lightening the blow, like he doesn't want to go overboard. And I'm not saying like he needs to hammer, he needs to beat the crap out of Bungie. Like, I'm not saying that, but it does seem like the whole pessimistic, like, what was it? Optimistically, I don't know, whatever bullshit tagline he's saying. Like, the fact that he's trying to be optimistic, like, and when you hear him talk about some of the biggest criticisms, like, how are you optimistic yet you point out very, very blatant criticisms? I cannot be optimistic, especially with everything going on and the fact that what we've seen compared to what we've had is night and day difference. So I get this post. I do think there are people who will never be happy. You can criticize, but the moment you say anything positive, you're just like, oh, now you're shilling, which has happened to me. I've had several people saying that I'm shilling for Bungie, and it's like, what? So I agree and disagree with his statement. this one specifically, I think in some of his videos, he is lighting the blow. That way, he stays in Bungie's good graces.
Enough. The back and forth on this, guys. I can't keep up with y'all. I can't keep up with y'all. Exactly how the developers feel. Are you saying that you feel like we go back and forth with the developers too much? Is that what you're saying right now? 100,000%. Okay, give me something specifically that you feel like we go back and forth with the developers too much on. Vault space? I've never gone back on vault. What are you talking about? I'm
gonna be honest. I don't think I've ever heard any creator say anything about people criticizing vault space. Every creator I've talked about who's mentioned it, like anything, is vault space is a bad problem. Like it, I don't know who people are thinking if that's an argument, because I've never seen it.
Always looked at anyone at Bungie and said more vault space, please. That's a non-debate, dude. Come on. Give me something that actually means something. Hold on, I'm about to segue into this bitch. Do you think content creators have negatively impacted Destiny? Let me get a poll on this. No, just ass across. Oh, yes. Have content creators hurt Destiny 2? Oh, wow. I love this. Is so spicy, baby. 59% say yes. Yep. 41 to 42% say no. Everybody partake in this vote, please. Everyone, even other folks on the YouTube side, let your voice be heard. We want to hear it right now. Have content creators hurt Destiny 2? I'm going to fan the flames just a little bit, but this was actually a comment right here that was left on our video that we did. I was simply just gauging, like, Destiny 2 players, how you feeling? But right here, the worst thing Bungie has ever done is talking to YouTubers like Astros, people who literally play this game.
I think they're outside of calling Asagros, I agree with this statement, by the way. Your talk, it's like, it's crazy. You've got, the way I see it is, it's like going in and interviewing workers at a McDonald's and asking them, how does the burger taste? That's exactly what it's like. It's like the CEOs and the leaders of McDonald's employees come in and like, hey, how do you think our burgers taste? Is it good? What do you think we should do with our burgers? Meanwhile, you have the people who aren't working. They're not working with the food for a living. They're literally consuming it. They're buying it. That's exactly what's happening here with Destiny creators and Bungie. It's like, hey guys. Like, let's be honest here. Let's be honest here. Borderlands just had a whole group of streamers play their game and stream it. But here's the deal. Here's the big deal. They just changed and added a radar based not on streamers, but on the overwhelmingly community feedback. Within a couple weeks, added a radar to the game because of the community, not just streamers. Like, that's very important. And time again, I see things like people complaining, and it's a streamer complaining to get someone banned, and that person gets banned. But the moment that you're just a Timmy who's reporting in the game, they just never get banned. It's crazy how things are different from streamers versus someone who plays the game as a normal human being versus someone who plays Destiny as a business model. And that's a difference. I think if you are playing Destiny as a business model, like it is, you are funded to the point where you can pay for your bills. Like you can live off Destiny. It's a job. You're not playing a video game. Sure, you might have fun, but you're playing an amount that is not normal to the actual wider community of Destiny gamers or gamers in general. And I think that is something that needs to be thought of. It's like, hey, you need more than just streamers who are literally, they're like leeches. It's a symbiotic relationship. They're just leeching off of you, while at the same time, that leech is just hanging on the neck of Bungie. Everyone's seeing the leech. Like, oh my God, did you see that? Yeah, I'm watching this. Yeah, so you're bringing views, but they're still leeching off of you. They need you to exist. Not all of them. Like Asacross does a lot of different things now. But at one point, a lot of these content creators needed Destiny to survive.
game for a living for feedback who do not represent the community. Now listen, even though I might be being a little extra right now, a little over the top, I do have to sit back and reflect. Do my own desires align with yours? I don't know. I think a good game is a good game, but it's a fair point. Hence why many of you just voted right now that content creators have in fact heard Destiny 2. The poll is closed. 53% say yes, content creators have heard Destiny. Now here's the thing. Gonzo, at some point, hopefully we can have him on and have this discussion. What was my reply on this? So right here I said no shame directed at this guy. Actually, I would love to have him on for a discussion. This is a week ago. Things have, I don't know. Luke, I hope you got a hold of this guy and we can have a discussion. But I do want to take this moment because this is a common thing that you guys have brought up in here, that creators have heard Destiny. But again, I want to circle back to the question I just asked y'all. Do you think content creators are the only ones present at these summits / meetings? Can I get a poll on this? That's good, man. 69% saying no, 32, 31.
Have creators ruined D2? What? Whoa. What was the question?
I want to circle back to the question I just asked y'all. Do you think content creators are the only ones present at these summits / meetings? Can I get a poll on this? That's good, man.
Okay, so the header's wrong. It was based on the polls, not or how many you think are like the poll is based on if it's just content creators there. And the answer would be no, because we know journalists also go. We know that streamers, content creators, and journalists go.
69% are saying no. 32, 31% say yes. Okay. So here's the thing. As someone who has been a part of many summits, meetings with Bungie, and by the way, this is not something that's just with Bungie. Other developers do this all the time. You know, I'll give you an example. Arc Raiders did the exact same thing throughout their playtests and leading up to their most recent alpha. So it's not uncommon for developers to bring people in from their communities and have a discussion with them to collect feedback. Exoborn was another one that did it too. But anyways, over the years, this is just what developers do. They like to take people that have played their game for an extensive amount of time and then bring them in and have a discussion with them. Bungie is also a developer that does that exact same thing. Now,
I don't believe it.
For
I do not believe that. I do not believe that some random Joe Schmo who plays the game, Bungie is paying for their ticket to fly all the way to wherever the hell their base of operations is, like California or Washington, I don't know. It's all the way out there, feeding them probably if they're staying overnight, if it's like multi-day and that paying for a hotel. There's no freaking way that they are, and also probably paying them to play test as well. They're also paying them to play test. They're bringing them to these summits. I do not believe it. I want proof. I want evidence. I want receipts. I do not believe you. I think this absolutely is bogus. Now, do I think it's people maybe in the community who are moderators or people who make art or they're part of the speedrun community or do graphs and data and all that stuff? Sure, I can see those being, but someone like me or some Timmy, I do not believe, unless they're the most in sync, like almost creator level in some regard, but some kind of leader. I don't believe they're picking real people who are actually just playing the game. Like you need people, you need the people who are dedicated to the game. You need people who are just casually playing the game. But if you get everyone that all they do is just play Destiny at the highest level of like time and consumption, it's just pretty much like a streamer at that point. Like it's almost a job, but it's not a job for them. But having some just random Timmy, I do not believe it. I want receipts. Like if Moxie or not, is it Moxie or whoever his name is who does the spreadsheets? I don't know if he streams or not, but he's very active in the community, though I don't know if he's ever, I think he would have posted something about him going, but I didn't see anything from him. But we have like plenty of other people who are not like overly popular, like Aegis. I don't think Aegis went. Maybe he did, but he's also a numbers guy. It is usually just the streamers or people who are really shaking the pants of Bungie.
for Bungie is they'll bring people in that aren't just content creators.
Don't
that aren't
believe it.
just streamers and YouTubers. They'll bring people in that are just
evidence.
gamers. Yeah, I have straight up seen
I'm sorry. This is a trust me, bro statement.
people on Twitter or people on Reddit, like straight.
Okay. Reddit and Twitter. I know this is not true at freaking all. I do not believe. I do not believe that is a trust me, bro moment.
Straight up just like a Redditor, someone who is very active on Destiny 2 Reddit or wherever, get brought in and given feedback. On top of that, you also have a number of journalist outlets all across the board that also get brought in. Normally, journalists don't get brought in until the release of something.
Yes, because the journalists are there to report the pretty much like the final product and what to bring hype. They're not there to play test. Journals are reporting news. They're not reporting, hey, this is what they're gonna they've dabbled with a couple stuff. They're not out there cranking out videos like content creators are. These journalists usually cover a wide range of games outside of just Destiny, and so it makes sense that they're usually at the tail end with the final product, not these little mini play tests.
It's coming up. Direct feedback is only pulled from folks that are actively playing their games. The journalist is more or less brought in just essentially just show them what's coming, and that way there's coverage on that. So listen, when you have a bunch of people in a summit, there are different ideas. Dude, no one is really aligned on everything. For instance, years ago when sunsetting was brought up, let me just say there were some creators in there and some YouTubers and streamers that said that sounds fine. And it was really the people that were like, I guess,
give us names, call them out. Give us names. Those are the people we need to not trust.
Folks that may have played more Diablo or something like that. You know what I mean? I wasn't used to seasonal resets, so it was new for me. I didn't like sunsetting, primarily because I didn't want to say goodbye to Non-Forgotten and Luna's house. So I was extremely biased on where I stood with sunsetting. It's the reason why my vault to this day is absolutely slammed. I like keeping my shit. It's a looter shooter. I want to keep my loot. And so I didn't really like sunsetting.
One thing, if I ever hear streamers talk about sunsetting and telling people to get over it, that's someone I immediately know to ignore, because they're always going to push for new stuff regardless. Like they want it benefits them for there always to be fresh, new, some reason. Like if there's one gun that is still great from 10 years ago, it hurts them because then they do a review. Like we know that there's too many content creators that make videos on every gun. Like this is great, this is amazing, and it's the most shittiest gun, and you never see them use it again. That is just the Destiny community is the biggest baitist community when it comes to weapon reviews. I actively do not listen or pay attention to any single content creator when they advertise one singular gun. I never look at those reviews. I'll look at the whole package where they tell you like what they think might be worth chasing. And that's it. Like that's why I personally don't do individual gun reviews, or at least I haven't tried, is because it feels like it's nothing but a bait. And I think that's the part that has ruined Destiny 2, is that people get mind rotted into thinking that certain guns are really, really good. And so they want to chase those weapons or use those weapons and like grandmasters and raids. And you're like, why? I'll give you a perfect example. Doing doing Rights of the Nine Prophecy, the final boss and ultimate mode, which is contest. We're out there using Queensbreaker, and multiple people I joined with, multiple teams. There was always one stupid douchebag that wanted to use a 1K voice. And if you know that encounter, you're jumping from platform to platform during boss fight, and I'm out there trying to be aware of like, I might blow this guy up, and it does significantly less damage. And every time we wiped, he was always like almost millions of damage below the two of us who were using Queensbreaker. But that's because they listened to some Joe Schmo streamer who's, circle jerking 1K, and everyone's like, oh my God, I gotta use 1K. Oh my God. And that's a perfect example of what's ruining Destiny is it's brain rot where they are overhyping guns. And that I just want to give a little sliver that yes, there's aspects that you just don't listen to content creators about individual gun reviews. 9 out of 10 times they're just trying to get a paycheck.
Even from the standpoint of just losing planets and losing content, I mean from the standpoint of just losing my favorite weapons. But there were also the technical limitations that Bungie disclosed that they were faced with. Anyways, there's reasons why there was sunsetting. And whether we all stood there and said, no, we don't want sunsetting, at the end of the day, Bungie was still going to sunset.
And it is now burned into the reputation, and people will never forgive Bungie. In fact, the wider gamer community is aware of the sunsetting, and it makes Destiny look like an ass game. Like, people do not respect the Destiny community. People do not respect Destiny at all. And every time you bring it up, they're like, oh, isn't that game dead? Oh, I thought that game was dead. How are you still playing a dead game? Like, that is always the first thing that comes up when you talk about Destiny and someone who is not part of the Destiny community. They're like, how are you playing a game that removes paid content? Like, that is a stain that will forever be on Bungie. And I agree. I don't think any specific streamer is to be blamed for sunsetting, because I know even the ones that were okay with it, I know that they were smart enough to realize, yeah, the community is not going to like this. And they probably said that.
Say that I felt like there was someone at Bungie who was in leadership position who, at least in my eyes, felt like was leading the charge on sunsetting. Now, maybe he was just the face of it. Regardless, that's what happened there. Now let's fast forward to another topic that has taken place before, and that is the topic of crafting versus RNG drops.
Ooh.
When you talk to just about anybody that has played Destiny, or especially like extensively played Destiny, I'm talking like hardcore people, PvE players especially, they think that crafting has ruined Destiny. It ruined.
I do. I know there's going to be people who are like, listen, I've talked to many people in the community, and I agree there's ways that they could change and improve crafting so that there's still chase. There's a lot of things they could do. I think overall, where it's at right now, I think it ruins the game. But I'm open. Like, it's not an argument whether they can improve it. I think they can improve it. I think they could improve it. I think they can make it to where it's still valuable to casual players, and yet there's still a reason to chase for dedicated players, and kind of add some of that RNG still in place. I'm all for that. I'm not opposed to that. But if you're asking, do I think in general the way it's been shipped and handled currently, yes. Crafting is ruined the game. It's made people give less crap about other guns. Also, they just now fixed adepts because adepts were also bad. I think we could have a whole conversation. Maybe I'll do a video on like how they could bring crafting back. But I mean, it seems even if I did that, it wouldn't matter because tier 5 seems to be replacing crafting. But just know that I agree, crafting bad in the way it was shipped could have been better, could have been great.
What the magic of Destiny was. I think CB Gray is a fantastic Destiny player. In fact, that he has gone back and regrinded all of Destiny 1 exotics.
I want to do that.
Check out that video.
I want to do this. Like, how many hours has this been going? Like 22 hours. And how many total exotics? Just 0 out of. So you just got his first exotic, which was Galahorn. Dude, that's freaking hype. Dude, imagine replaying for the first time and your very first exotic unlocked is Galahorn. Like, that's hot.
It was such a good video, and it also like recaptures what the magic was of getting drops inside of Destiny 1 versus getting drops inside of Destiny 2. I personally liked weapon crafting. I also feel like weapon crafting could have been expanded upon. Almost taking a page out of Path of Exile.
Again, I thought crafting did ruin the chase, but I wasn't opposed to crafting and think they could have expanded it and made it better.
Book and introducing things like corruption orbs, val orbs, and finding a way to make RNG a part of weapon crafting still. It's still deterministic, but there's a way to further personalize your own weapon. But again, that's not happening. As you've seen with tier 5 loot, Bungie is returning to form on how they want to roll out weapon drops inside of Destiny. Crafting is a chore. Some people, see, you understand, like some people look at that differently. Some people think crafting is great because no matter what, they could get a couple, 1, 2, maybe 3 red borders, and they're in the process of achieving the craftable role. I like crafting simply because it allowed me to keep just about everything in the game. Weapon crafting said, hey, you don't have to keep 5.
Like, I deleted pretty much any craftable role I wasn't using. I deleted to make space for the future. And I know I can just go back and pull it out, which I think is great. I'm going to give it a hot thought. I think any craftable weapon should never be enhanceable. I think you can get your god roll. I think you can only enhance non-crafted weapons. That's my opinion. You can only enhance non-crafted weapons. I think the fact that as soon as you craft it, it's automatically enhanced. I think that was a problem. I think they should have removed enhanceable perks on crafted weapons. That way it makes you want to farm an RNG god roll. You could play with the base version, then get your juicy min-max, get that base gun, or if you got lucky from a raid. Like, I got the red border, but I like this weapon, so I'm going to go ahead and enhance this weapon and use this raid weapon. I know I'm going on a tangent, and I said I wasn't going to, but just a thought.
6 roles of a single weapon. And some of you that only play PvE, this may not be a problem for you, but for those of us that like to play both PvE and PvP, we like to keep multiple roles. And even if you just play just one or the other, I still like to keep multiple roles. And so, long story short, weapon crafting did solve a lot of the vault problems, but it definitely was not perfect when it first rolled out. But I also wish that it could have been expanded upon. Now, whether I wanted that or not, that's obviously not the path that Bungie is going with. And as you see with like tier 3, tier 4, and tier 5 loot, we are definitely going back to RNG drops. Bro does not need that many Ergo sums. Here's the thing, none of these.
Yeah, that's, you know what, that's true. Like, here's the thing, you're gonna farm for tier 5 and then you're having RNG on RNG. When I say RNG, it's more like you have to get the certain threshold of score and then hope you get your tier 5 to drop and then hope that the tier 5 is what you're looking for. So it's not like you're doing a lot more work for RNG. And so not just armor, but also your weapons as well.
These are dupes. These are all different roles that I may lean into at some point down the road. And this is how I like to play the game. Everybody always comes in here and it really irks me, man, because you come in here and you're like, you don't need 700 slots. F you. I've only seen you use one Ergo thumb. Mods ban less. Let's get the fuck out of my stream. I will have a mature dialogue with all of you until you start talking shit about my vault. F you. I'm keeping everything. This is how I play the game. F you less. I'll see you in Edge of Fate. Now back to the point I was saying, when you have multiple people across the community, and this involves streamers, YouTubers, journalists, random Redditors, people on Twitter, people on Bungie forums. I've seen people on Bungie forums literally get into summits for Bungie, which is completely fine. You've got many people from all
Don't believe it. Don't believe it. Fake news.
Over the community that come together.
Hashtag Bungie fake news.
And there are differing opinions across the board. But then there's the one major opinion, and it's Bungie's opinion. At the end of the day, Bungie's gonna do what they want to do. There's always some slight wiggle room, but the way development cycles work is by the time I see it or anyone else in the community sees something, there's only so much Bungie could do from that point until release. There is always a little bit of wiggle room to change and tweak some stuff, but as far as what is there fundamentally, that's what's going. So if you don't like what you see fundamentally, too damn bad. That's it. That's what's going to be happening. And at the end of the day, Bungie, you know, I'm not saying that Bungie is unyielding, but for instance, how many of you are excited about Kepler and the new exploration side of things and the matter ball stuff? Let's just play a game here. Let's run a simulation. You go to Bungie or any developer, let's just say any developer, and they show you something, but they don't show you the whole thing. They just show you a piece of it because obviously they can't spoil everything. Everybody thinks that we play the entire expansion. No, we don't. It's always just a piece of a piece and some dabbling, and that's
like a
really
demo.
It's
a demo.
You've got someone there that is a developer and they are extremely passionate about a direction they want to take their game. You don't really know if it's going to do well or not. You hope it hits, but you don't know if it's going to hit. What do you do in those situations, guys? Let me ask you, what do you do in those situations? About the only thing you can do, especially given development timelines, is that you can give small little feedback, like small little pieces of feedback, like the matter ball should do more damage. You should have more jumps in the teleportation. There should be biome changes, things like that. But fundamentally, do you look at the developer and say, I think your creative vision is ass, and I think
yes. Yes. And then, like, let's say, for instance, Edge of Fate, they are overhyping the secrets exploration. And then you stare at them and saying, okay, so once I've done the campaign, how many times I'm supposed to do, and I've found all the secrets, what happens then? How are you going to make me come back to Kepler? Just like, are you going to treat it just like the Pale Heart, where no one ever goes back to that? Or what about EDZ? Or what about Nessus? Or Europa? Oh God, Europa. We were so excited about Europa. Remember that? We had weather changes. We had snowstorms. Wow. We really went into that, didn't we? Wow. Snowstorms. And yet we've never been really back. We've never had real reason to go back outside of doing bounty prepping or generic ass seasonal quest that tells you to go collect X, Y, and Z, or stand by some little corner of the map to get some generic ass like voice comms. Like, we've never had any real changes to these worlds or a reason to go back and do them, which is the big issue. And so this is the kind of stuff I would say directly to Bungie. I would say, I think is shit. And let me explain why I think that. And then I would go into detail to give them valid criticism. So yes, up front, you're like, okay, well, telling them that your creative vision is ass isn't really good criticism. And that's when I agree. That's why I roll out the red carpet of everything that, in detail, why this is a problem, and give a perfect example of other historical context of like other examples. You could do that. I think that is fair criticism.
I think this is absolutely shite, considering you haven't even seen all of it to begin with. No, you ask them why they think it's going to hit with their player base.
Yeah,
okay,
there you
so
go.
then you bring that up. Bungie, why do you think that this is going to hit with Destiny 2's player base? And they bring up the countless comments, whether it's been in their own streams or in other YouTube feeds or Twitter or wherever else, of breaking the mold. You see, you guys have been saying it for years, that the mold inside of Destiny has been the same thing, most notably this seasonal mold. Well, we can't deny the fact that this is different. Going into Kepler is going to be different, and it may be different in a very bad way, but it is different.
I mean, the difference is instead we're focusing too much on exploration. Like people are looking at the for someone who just quickly consumes it, this is like fine and they're done. People who want to continue to play this game, it is all about longevity. Where is my $40 going into? Is it for a brief moment of experience? Like, am I buying a burger for a McDonald's, or am I buying a TV? Like, those are two different forms of consumption. I'm buying something for a quick moment of enjoyment, or I'm doing something that's going to have longevity that I can continue to use even after I'm done using it, right? I turn it off and yet I come back and I can continue to use it in the foreseeable future. That is the problem with focusing on the exploration of the world. You're exploring it. You can only explore so much and for so long, and eventually you've explored everything. So what then? What else is on the table? And I think it's Bungie's fault for not showcasing that. And maybe they'll showcase some for this next stream, but which they need to, because right now all that we've seen is exploration. Wow. I'm not excited for exploration. I need longevity, not in the moment.
Difference. Can't be mad at them for trying something new when they've been begging for new for 10 years. You want different? Here it is, GG. And look, again, when you're only shown 10% of something, it's hard to say, you know what I mean? You can only express what you're.
How do we know it's 10% though? I mean, Bungie is leading heavily on the systematic changes. And again, it's all about being careful on not being deceived and manipulated in perception that this is going to be massive DLC when most of what's been revealed is free. That is something to hold on to.
Your experience is with that 10%. But again, given development cycles, once it's locked in, it's locked in. The good thing is that Edge of Fate and Kepler is not a 1-year expansion, right? I don't know if Renegade is going to be much, if it's going to be better. I also don't know if Kepler, look guys, we could get into Edge of Fate and what if, let's just play what if we get into Kepler and we're like, oh my God, this place is fucking awesome. These puzzles, they my jam, baby. This whole Metroidvania shit, I didn't even know I wanted it in my life, but it fucks. This Lodi guy, this guy fucks. happens. I don't know. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I will say where we are hype-wise is much lower than where we were last year. And the Into the Light, all I can say is make comparisons between Into the Light Pantheon versus Ride of the Night.
How do we get to this, by the way?
Into the Light Pantheon way better. It ain't even in the same.
How do we get from talking to streamers to talking about Into the Light and all that? Like somewhere down the line, we start going off the beat.
Realm. That was so high leading up into Final Shape. Ride of the Nine has not captured that. Now, creatively, you know, these developers, they're in their position. That's what they do. This is what they do. They have a vision, and I'll just have to see if they're actually right. I didn't play Metrovania games. I don't even know. I've watched some YouTube videos on them. I don't even know. But back to the point of this entire topic. Do YouTubers and streamers ruin Destiny? Well, let me just go ahead and just give you a little bit of feedback from me on this one. I have been to summits multiple times. And at some of those have been folks, let me just say, it was the first time at Bungie. You know what I mean? And it was the first time talking to Bungie. And let me just say this, chat. You bitches cave so fast. You know that? Instantly cave. The moment you fucking walk into Bungie and see John 117, fucking cave.
No. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to cave for this. And then as soon as I walk past this, it's all about duty, baby. You got me. I'm going to give you my opinion. Like, it's funny. Milo, Mr. Raffle Waffles, does his little board thing. I'm going to be in the board meeting with Bungie, and I'm going to say, sit down. I'm about to do like the crazy meme where the guy is like, got stuff all over here. He's like, what? Like, that's going to be me, because I'll be like, okay, let's talk about public spaces. Let's talk about worlds. How can we do it? Grandmaster public events. How do we do it? Hell yeah. Pull some Nightfall bosses and make them spawn as Grandmaster bosses in the public event. Like, I'm going to do some crazy, not crazy, but I'm going to give some very detailed suggestions on how to improve the world and the game. Like, there's not me just breaking down like, oh, Bungie, let me go. No. It's going to be business. And it's not going to be me just straight up hating, by the way. Like, if they're paying me to be pretty much being a consultant, because I will be consulting, or they'll be consulting in me, and I will be giving them my thoughts. I'm going to give them every penny they spent on me, they're going to get it. I'm going to give them so many ideas and suggestions. They're going to have probably like 3 boards worth of stuff, because that's what I got for you, Bungie. Like, if you want like someone who isn't biased to Glock 5000 you, I'm here. I'm about the game, and I'll tell you what gamers would be interested in, and some ideas on how to not only make it challenging, but also make it fun, but also make it a little more casual for the casuals. A little bit of everything for everyone, especially the new player experience, which I have several ideas that desperately need to be implemented. Yes. Sure. I'm guaranteed there's a bunch of low bar content creators that are sucking the balls of Bungie. We've already seen a couple of them, a couple, have said things about me specifically, or other streamers, because they don't like criticism. We've seen them Gluck 5000 Bungie as soon as they probably showed up. I believe that. Let's jump into it.
Walk into Bungie and see John 117, fucking cave. You guys come in there, act like
I would cave to the statue, and I would ask how much to buy it.
Give the best of,
like, Bungie, I know you need money. I know you were desperate for some money. How much? Like, can I get a loan on it? Like, can I pay it off slowly? Like, I want to put that statue where I will put it in my view. Like, it'll be right here in the corner where he's always staring at us.
Feedback. Get the fuck out of here. Every single time. Yo, act hard. And then when you're actually in that shit, you cave like bitches every fucking time. Look. Let me just say this too. The problem is, amongst all the feedback that I'm trying to give, I gotta wait for you to get through your fucking glazing, okay? I'm trying to give proper feedback, and I just got fucking deep-throater over there. So here's the thing. I think it would be lovely.
I need to use that in the future. That's a perfect Bungie ball fondling moment.
We could all be in these meetings and all give proper feedback. That would be fantastic. And I know of a solution that could fix all of these problems, Bungie, because to be quite honest with you, the summits and all that stuff, it's nice to have hands-on time with Bungie. I believe the best way Bungie can really cut through the crowd and find answers immediately is by doing what RuneScape has done for years. In-game polls.
Absolutely. And you do these as many times as you want, as often as you want, and you can get feedback months in advance for ideas, suggestions. Just getting it is so easy to get free feedback for the people who are playing the game by just sending a survey. It is insane. And I've seen surveys from them, but it's usually about cosmetic bullshit. Hey guys, are you willing to buy this cosmetic, or are you willing to give us cosmetic for this money? Meanwhile, we're like, okay, can you do that for like core issues of the game? Like, would you like to have a new season, or would you rather us fix our game? Fix your game first, and then we'll talk about the new shit.
Make it happen, Bungie. You get a poll in game that says, hey, we've got an annual expansion coming up. What would you like? A subclass or supers added to existing subclass? Right then.
I guarantee if they ask that, would you like something new for subclasses, or would you like a new world mechanic? And I think 90% of the community would say they would vote on the new something to a subclass, right? Some kind of new perk or something. They would be like, nah, I'm good. I don't need a mechanic like Deep Sight.
And there, everyone can vote right there on the spot. You guys can click one or the other. I want a new subclass. No,
absolutely.
I want old supers and more abilities added to stasis or strand.
Yep,
and the beautiful thing about this is now we can all make the fucked up decisions together. It won't just be whoever the hell happens to be in Bungie's ear. It's all of us together. RuneScape has done this for years, where they literally will ask people what they want for upcoming content drops. And it could be like a new skill, what the specific skill
that's great, man.
They would give them options of what the skill should be. I think it's fantastic. They get all the data right then and there, and it feels like the game is growing with you. And you are all making a conscious decision to grow the game.
Nothing says we hear you like paying attention to polls and voting and letting the community vote on it. That is the ultimate we hear you.
You care about in-game surveys. Like, we're doing a poll right now. 95% says yes. I think that's the best way to do it. You know, if you really want to cut past what we want, dude, just but here's the other side of things. What if we get some shitty stuff in the game? Well, all right. Just know that the majority voted for it. The majority should be happy. But Destiny does not have a mailing system. Well, we have the kiosk in the tower. We have the special kiosk in the tower. Look, all I'm saying, it should just pop up right here.
I mean, we have pop-ups for general ads. They can make a pop-up for a survey.
The chat, guys. Maybe even on the portal. Bungie's making the portal. On the portal, Bungie, please, for the love of God, take advantage of this. Have a little section there that's like upcoming content, and just make it simple and allow people.
Literally have an ad that pops up saying, hey, you've been chosen to do survey. Click this link and it will take you to the portal. Like, literally, it just, you can do that. It's not hard.
People to vote on one or the other, and not just outfits, dude.
Can we start? I'm sorry, you got this. Can we start, brother? Dude, there's always that one asshole.
It's like we get an email. It needs to be something that's actually real, man. I think with us as gamers, want to be a part of the process here, moving the game the direction we wanted to go, and getting the option to choose, even if it's stuff that's like a year or two out. That would resonate so well with everyone in this community. To me, this seems like something they could definitely do, guys. I dream of a day that I log into Destiny 2 and I get a little pop-up that says we're planning some features for the next annual expansion. Would you like clan-owned housing, or would you like something equivalent to that, whatever that may be?
Space battles, hell yeah.
The opportunity to choose one or the other. And to me, this is just like, this is so easy. It's so much easier than Bungie throwing darts at the dartboard trying to figure out what the Destiny 2 community wants.
Play game, yap for 1 hour. Dude, I would be kicking. This is why I don't like playing with other people. Like, sure, I played with a couple people for my channel, but generally I don't like playing with people, because if something like this were to ever happen, I would be pissed. I would kick you and ban you for being like, listen, you joined me, fuck off. Like, I know what whole entire side thing, but like, damn, dude, he's literally having a conversation with the community. Like this stuff actually matters. The topic actually matters. Like, go somewhere else, bro.
Once. It's just so much easier than bringing
people like that,
me or anyone else in to ask them what you guys want or what we want. Cut through the bullshit, Bungie. Cut through all of it and just put in-game polls in. And I promise you, this game will become so much better. Slap that like button.
I agree. And just to add the cherry on top, just a reminder, some people who never played Destiny back in the day, Destiny 2, the Warmind DLC, before Forsaken, a lot of the content creators went to the summit and they got to play Protocol EP. They got to play EP early, and the criticism, they said it wasn't hard enough, and so they changed it and made it even harder, which did upset a lot of the community, that it was too hard to a certain extent, and it did make a little bit, like, it did cause strain for a lot of the community, and especially when they found out that YouTubers and content creators were the ones that suggested to make it harder. It caused a lot of issues, but that was a moment that they changed content based on creators and not the overall community, which at this point, they should have been listening to the community and not content creators, which only added to the issue. But we also have, at 2020, Bungie described that they wanted Grandmaster Nightfalls to be watchable, which led many fans to complain that Bungie was now overtly making content for top-tier streamers to play and everyone else to watch rather than participate. And that when you Bungie makes statements that they want to make something watchable, it is very obvious that you're trying to make content towards streamers and not what's actually playable. And that is a problem, is that you cannot make content cater to the people who essentially play this game as a job. You should not be playing this as people who play this as a job. People who actively get paid by playing your game should not be overwhelmingly using them as your example, because they already play at a certain level that is not normal. In fact, it's probably not healthy. And I say that as someone who plays as much as a streamer does. Not in the past 2 years. I've done better at getting away from that, by the way. Playing a lot more games. A lot of time when I make these videos, I'm not even playing Destiny for the day or anything. So I've done a lot of improvement for my mental health's sake. But people are playing this game at a normal rate, whereas streamers are playing it in a way that is actually unhealthy. If it wasn't for the fact that it was a job and that's part of their job, it would be considered unhealthy and it could pose mental issues. This is someone who has a master's degree in psychology. And yes, video game addiction is kind of like on its way, debatable whether it's going to be in the DSM, but it was one of those addictive situations. But the main thing I'm saying is to skew your game based on results from content creators at an unhealthy level normally is not the same as people who casually play, or people who at the top end, what are we saying, 20 hours, 10, 15 hours a week or something? I don't know what would be considered normal for people who consider themselves veterans, but then they don't spend 40 hours playing the game, right? Like, if you're playing, like I said, 40 hours is like a full-time job, which is like streamer stuff, which would make sense. But let me know in the comments down below what you think. Do you think streamers ruin Destiny? Let's see what you guys think. I'll see you guys in the next one. Game out. Huzzah.